Hello everyone, my name is Mad Scorpion, and welcome to the Destiny Reset. Now, I was stressed. Last week of the season, there's a lot going on that is like catch-up stuff. So, when you log in, you'll get a kind of seasonal closing message. I would say it's a Lightfall teaser if we didn't already know everything about Lightfall, but you know, other stuff, more story developments, I won't say it in case you haven't seen it yet and just want to know what's new with Reset. But aside from that, like we almost always have with the last weeks of the seasons, we have all boosters active. I don't know about trials, but they have additional Gambit, additional Valor, and more Vanguard stuff available. So I don't know if there's any double rewards. I believe we're out of double rewards as of now. So there is a few other things going on, but it's time to get into them. So currently, like I said, last week of the season, all boosters active. Now the donation thing going on, community event is still going on. So in case you wanted to farm anything or get any of these things from them, you can still get your hands on Elixir Quarter gift boxes if you want to build up some, get some Bright Dust, and you can of course donate all these sorts of things that you want to. And I would also recommend that in case you have no idea how and have no need for like Glimmer and that sort of things, you can't just get rid of all your materials right here. You will literally donate your entire stack of materials. No bit by bit, it will just be 100% gone. So if you had no interest in Glimmer or saving them instead of getting rid of them across the next season, just want to get rid of them, now is a good time to do that. But aside from that, into the main bulk of what's going on in the world. So, like I said, obviously, reputation boosters going on, but in terms of other things, it is currently the Fallen Saber is our last nightfall of the season, and of course, like I mentioned before, if anything you needed seasoning, gilding, seals, anything, some of this stuff might be going away. I believe a few seasons ago, this might be the last time to unlock Unbroken, but not Gilded and that sort of. Actually, no, this is the last, other weird things. But aside from that, into the main focus. So, for the Fallen Saber, we have Arachno for when defeated, Fallen Vandals spawning web mines at their feet. Champion Foes for Barrier and Overload champions. Chaff for no radar. Grandmaster modifiers. Match Game. Equipment lock, extinguish, limited revives, mob champions for additional ones, then arc and void shields throughout the strike, as well as acute arc burn. So most of the fallen enemy is going to be a problem, and in terms of the final phase, mainly just the last stage of the boss is going to be scary. And then in terms of that, we also have Duty Bound for our adept weapon this week available. Now I'm not sure what is leaving and staying officially, although I will inform folks that, as usual, there will be some weapons that at the end of the season will be rotating out for a while. So I know some of them might be last chance already. I would double check and make sure that Duty Bound is not leaving in case you want to get your hands on a good set before it goes away for a few seasons. Then, like I said, Gambit boosters going on, so if you want to catch up on your Gambit ranks, that is there. Same thing for Crucible, there is bonus Crucible ranks, and currently Team Scorch in case you, for some reason, needed to actually kill people with Scorch Cannons and that sort of thing. And I do believe Trials is still happening this weekend, I just forget if it's boosted Trials. Now, into the rest of the world. So, in terms of our weekly rotation dungeon, it is currently Prophecy for our Pinnacle Rotator. And then in terms of King's Fall for Master, well, let's see, what's challenge mode? Grass is always greener, which, if I recall, is Totem's challenge. It's hard to honestly remember. I haven't been doing a lot of the King's Fall challenges recently. But for Master rewards, it is Discipline-focused armor, in case you go into Master for your armor rolls. Now, into the rest of the world. So, Dares of Eternity for our legendary mode arrangement. Currently, it is taking Cabal and Zydron for Legend Dares of Eternity. I almost said Legends of Eternity. And for the rest of the world, for our rotations in our raid focus, it is currently Vow of the Disciple. So that means all challenge modes active in case you wish just to get extra loot. And as well, it is Master mode back, which is intellect focused armor if you wish to complete Vow of the Disciple on Master for armor farming. But aside from that, it is pretty much the usual Savathun Throne World stuff in terms of rotation. So, for our weekly mission, it is currently the Last Chance, which is the second to last mission in the Witch Queen campaign, which was where you go into the Apothecary Wing, kill the big wizard, and steal the crystal, and then learn that Savathun was chosen by light, blah, 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 blah. And then in the rest of the world, for our rotation, I don't know why I went to the moon. I think the Duality Pinnacle dragged me here. Then into the rest of the world, we have Psyops Battlegrounds Arena. The Legend mode is in the EDZ. And then for our Catch Crash, we currently have I1. It's rotating all the way back around again. It is currently the Shank boss, in case People still need the Shank Boss, but in terms of finishing the seal this season, this is the last thing you can. If you wanted to just start out, you probably won't be able to finish this for at least 3 weeks, in addition to every other time lock thing, although everything is available. Now, like I stressed before, the seasonal challenges, we haven't gotten anything new since several weeks ago, and if you want to get any of your hands on the Bright Dust, any of the rewards, XP, whether or not it's just something to unlock or something to do, most of this will be going away, or pretty much almost all of this, except for the related to story/seal stuff, will be going away at the end of the season and will be replaced by just the stuff that's actually required to unlock things, like these old challenges. But aside from that, that is pretty much everything reset-wise that I can think of off the top of my head. So it's time to visit Banshee, see what he's got. And for the last week of this season, we have Scathelock, a pretty solid adaptive frame auto rifle, one that I would recommend with a decent roll. Heating Up Eye of the Storm, definitely more of a PvP focused one, although, I'm not sure if I would go for that. Same thing with Shepherd's Watch, Tunnel Vision opening shot, definitely more along the lines of a PvP roll, but at the same time, it's adaptive frame, not really the best in former fashion, I think. Contingency Plan. Another role that I would say is PvP focused, because Kill Clip can turn this thing into a 3-tap. Tunnel Vision is good for the laning, but at the same time, there are some better other things, although it's still a generally well-performing scout, especially for PvP. Then we also have Snorri FR5, a precision frame scout rifle, fusion rifle, which is, of course, an Amalon one, so it benefits from Amalon fluid dynamics and all that. I wouldn't say this is good exactly for anything in particular, but fusion rifle. And then Palmyra B, a surplus lasting impression roll on Palmyra. It's a pretty solid roll, although, like I say many times before, this can be crafted. So if you want to get the good roll with all the perks, I would recommend you just craft it. And then same thing with Typhon GL5, a good roll at the same time. Wish this was craftable, but we just have to settle for whatever good rolls come about for this stasis grenade launcher. Now, lastly, last thing I'm going to touch upon in the season, aside from the cutscene, which you will see but either before or after this. And that is, oh wait, that's the Postmaster. What is in the Eververse store? Now, I will warn you, as I always do, this season will be ending soon. So pretty much anything in this menu, in the seasonal offering, whether it's Eververse stuff, emotes, ghost effects, transmats, ornaments, weapon ornaments, anything. It will be going away after next season and won't be back until a little while after because of the archive. If you don't know, the archive is kind of where things come back eventually, and Desolate Diver was from 2 seasons ago, from Season of the Risen. I would definitely recommend that if anyone wants to make sure they can get their hands on some things, that they go and get it now. Otherwise, it won't be back in the store at all until then, but then again, it might come by a Bright Dust. But speaking of Bright Dust, time to see what our last offers are. So we have Welded Brass, a shader from Season of the Dawn, which, if I recall, not too great, but I would definitely say good for some armor from weapons. Then, from this season, the Hazardous Projection. It's, a biohazard sign with a little radioactive pulse, so that's kind of cute. Then we have Grimmest Hunter for Leviathan's Breath, which I can't say if this is really themed or anything, or if it's just supposed to be a cool look to say, this is adorned in bones. But then also we have Omen of Saturn, which is the Telesto Sparrow. And per the usual with Telesto, it's a little bit broken, a little sparky, a little out of shape because, that's what Telesto is. Then into the main store for our flares and shaders. We have Vibrant Beach, which is beach tone, but also steel tone. It's a weird one, but that's what it looks like. Then we also have First Light, which if I recall is not exactly very much First Light. It's very metallic callus themed, but at the same time, doesn't look that bad. Better on weapons, though, I'd say. And then we have Copper Tone Patina, which if I recall, that's that's one of those shaders, won't lie. If you can actually make a good look for it, I would commend you. And then we also have Smudge Pot Bruise, which, if I recall, is a 30th anniversary shader that has Bungie logos of all sorts plastered on certain parts of the area. Then we also have Signal Process, a transmat effect from Black Armory, which is basically Black Armory Radiance in a transmat. Then we also have the Daito Capsule entrance, which, if I recall, both of these were last week's Eververse items. And then we also have the Pyramid entrance from Season of Lost, which is basically just a looming pyramid entrance. Nice colors on that. So, in terms of emotes and the big ticket items, we have from Season Lost as well, the Fiddler's Dance, which is you taking a long bow and then, going and fiddling with it, and then just kind of finishing whenever you feel like it. Then we also have the Great Stuff Dance, which, yep. That's a dance. Then, a Sparrow, the lightweight custom, which if I recall is the 3D printed carbon set. Looks pretty cool, definitely looks lightweight. Would recommend this for hunters to fit a lightweight look. Then, the Xenothalastic Voyage, which I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but basically a giant sea or space jellyfish kind of sort of ship. This is a part of the creature set that came out, and it's like bioluminescent things. Then we have some different ornaments for exotic ornaments. Now, currently on the Titan is the Mind Vault, but as I am talking, I will have found out what is on other characters as well and figure out what is for other things of each character. And this rambling is a moment to allow myself time to input them, and there you go. You should have seen all of them by now. But then back to the general, we have Honor of the Empress, which is Skyburner's Oath, an exotic Kite-based ornament for that. And lastly, as usual, we have the Moonbound Projection, which is just a general projection for your ghosts. Now, that is the last reset update of this season. I will, of course, be back on Tuesday with a full breakdown of the season. New weapons, new story beats, new gear, exotics, various other things. The usual opening of the season. Some important stuff to cover, new mechanics, anything that might have actually been important. But aside from that, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I'll see you in the next video.